Good morning, dear friends. We welcome you on this 27th day of July in the year 2024, and we're in the beautiful meditation hall, a Festival of Stars in the Lower Hamlet. This morning we saw the young children and older children and teenagers. And it reminds us of how much Thai love the summer retreats. Because everyone came. It was called the summer opening. And children were an especial joy for Thai and all of us. Their freshness, their spontaneity, their capacity to be ambassadors of living in the present moment. And to me, they were like little butterflies, kind of flapping around, bouncing up and down. And I want to mention something called the butterfly effect. I just recently learned about this in a Dharma talk from my senior sister in the Dharma sister Nghiem. And she talked about the butterfly effect. And I was curious, so I looked it up. And I learned that it has its application, first of all, in science, weather predicting, and it's quite complex, but it has been redefined for us to understand in our daily life. And simply explained, not in a complicated scientific way, but that explanation is also available, but in a very simple way, it says that any action, however small, can have a very large effect later on, and an unknown effect. The scientific explanation was that if a butterfly flaps its wings in India, for example, there could be a tropical storm far away in Hawaii. So this was the scientific explanation. The current of air could have a very strong effect somewhere far away. For us, we could understand this in terms our actions of thinking, speaking, and physical actions can have an effect that we may not know right away, an effect that will confirm, in a sense, the truth of interbeing, that we affect one another. We can impact one another in very beautiful ways, like the chant Avalokita, sending our energy of compassion. Also the metta meditation that Thai has written. May you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be light in your body and mind, may you be free from accidents and injury. It's the energy of prayer as well. So the butterfly effect, as far as children are concerned, I think these are the little butterflies that are going to help in the future. All of you are also butterflies. All of us are butterflies. When we come and learn the mindfulness practices, the mindfulness trainings, and then our thinking, our speech, loving speech, our helpful, kind actions can have a wide effect for the future. But not future, it's even here and now. So join me today in being a little butterfly, a big butterfly, as we explore some practices, some mindfulness practices that will help. It'll help ourselves, first of all, and then our children or the people we live with, work with, society, and even the cosmos. Why not? I'd like to continue with a story that is in Thay's book called The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching. And this story relates a Zen story, actually. And the story is this. A man is riding on a horse, and the horse is galloping so quickly at full speed. And the man standing on the side of the road sees this and shouts to the man as he passes by, "Good friend, where are you going at such a speed?" Yeah. The man turns around and says quickly, "I don't know. Ask the horse." Well, the story ends there in the book. And if you'll permit me to continue to add to this story, maybe update it a little bit for our being here together, I'd like to add to the story, embellish it a bit. So, with your permission, I will do so. So, once upon a time, there was a man standing on the side of the road, enjoying the fresh morning air, watching the sun rise up, looking at the sunbeams, and doing his Qigong exercises. And his little girl was standing next to him. Then he notices in the far distance a horse is galloping, and there's a rider on the horse. And the horse is leaving the trail of dust, like in the cowboy movies. Wow. So the man was not used to seeing this. On the country road, he usually saw speeding cars, motorcycles, bicycles occasionally. So he was curious. When the man on the horse came close enough, he shouted, "Good friend, where are you going?" And the man turned around and said quickly, "I don't know, ask the horse." Now, let us ask the horse, "Where are you going with the rider?" And the horse answers, "I don't know either." Okay. Two of them don't know. Where are we going? Thay described the first situation of going very quickly, speeding, is that we're being pulled along by our habit energies. These energies within us, transmitted by our ancestors, but also by the many years we live in society, the cultures, a tendency. Habit energies mean kind of the flavor, a tendency called a vasana, to act in certain ways, even if we don't want to. In terms of our speaking, reacting, consummation, habit energies. In the continuation of this story, where both of them don't know where they're going, Do we find this is true in our lives? We're not sure where we're going in our life. It may be true for the teenagers, college-age students, everyone. Yeah, what will the future be like? Where are we going? But the horse didn't give up, even though the rider didn't tell him where to go. The rider wasn't saying, giddy up, slow down, right, left. There wasn't communication between the rider and the horse. Now, is this a situation in our life? Can we identify in some aspect a need for more communication to tell the horses in our lives, but really the people in our lives, important people in our lives, communicate more on whatever. So the story continues. They continue on the road, continue their journey, they're on the path. And you know what? They wind up at New Hamlet. Oh, my. And they stopped there. And they were told, oh, we're so sorry. We don't have a place for the horse. You belong in Upper Hamlet. They went to Upper Hamlet. And then the brother said, oh, sure, come on in. We have space. And the horse was led to a field with other horses. And then the man went into a room. It was arrival day. A few days ago, yes? And he went into the room. And the first words he heard were, you have arrived. Maybe you've heard those words already. You have arrived and you are home. So this is the first Dharma teaching, the seal of Plum Village, one of them at least, is to come back to the present moment, to be with yourself, and to make wherever you are a home. But it's not always so easy. Our body is our home, of course, but we have a mind as well. And to somehow make it possible for the body and our mind to be in the same place at the same time, to be home. Now, perhaps your mind was already at Plum Village when you registered. I think so. You had to go online. You thought of Plum Village, and then you made your registration. Your mind went to Plum Village, really, with the thought. You registered, whatever, and then both mind and body came on arrival day. So, coming home means to arrive here and now in the present moment. And what are the practices that make this possible, no matter where you go? The first practice is the practice of stopping. Yeah, stopping. And perhaps the rider and the horse saw somewhere on their journey the red stop sign or the yield. The color red tells us to stop. If we're driving in the city, in the car, the red light, oh, I have to stop. But maybe if I go slowly enough, it'll turn to green. Okay. But we know the color red is to stop. At Plum Village, the sounds tell us to stop. So it's the sound of the bell. But not only the bells, we have the birds every morning. So we can listen for the birds, stop, come back, and breathe in and out. When breathing in and out, I can relax. I can nourish my body with the oxygen, with the feeling of relaxation. So we have many opportunities during the whole day, the whole week, to create this new habit energy in us, pausing, breathing, relaxing. We will have a lazy day coming up. I think it's after the new Hamlet hosts you, and the new Hamlet needs a lazy day. We all do. We need a lazy day. And it's a day when there's no written schedule, such as the sitting, walking meditation, etc. There will be the meals, and it's a day for you to create a day for yourself to be lazy. But so often, there's so many wonderful things to do. To take a walk, to talk, to visit, to take a hike, many, many wonderful things. So not everyone finds a hammock to lie in and drink lemonade and be lazy all day. But we can create a lazy day every time we stop and breathe in and out. It's a lazy moment, honestly, just a moment. But it's lazy because if we are fully with the experience, breathing in and breathing out, my mind is not thinking of anything else. It's fully with the experience of breathing in and breathing out. So every time I stop, I give myself a lazy moment, and after many opportunities during the day, I've created a lazy day for myself, really lazy. When I'm breathing in and out, I don't talk. I don't drink whatever. I just breathe in and out, a lazy day. So let's practice now. Shall we have a lazy day? Before the day arrives, or a lazy moment in the present moment. Can we do that? I think we can. Let's relax as we listen to the sound of the bell. We'll enjoy being lazy with whatever is there. It can be anything. We accept it because we're going to be lazy with it. It won't pull us away. I'm lazy now with my breath. So our good friend, the writer, learned more things. And I'd like to go to the board now and write some of these things that he learned that day. And perhaps you have already learned them, but maybe hearing them twice gives you the habit energy. And we can create habit energies that are wonderful. And these are the mindfulness practices that we can bring home, bring anywhere with us. So now I will change countries, change location, and I will do my Olympic challenge, which is to walk down the stairs. And my coach is right by me, my trainer. I'm so grateful to her. I've talked about stopping. There's the other practice of calming. And the longer we stay with our breathing, aware of our body, relax our body when we breathe in and out, it will not only help our body calm down, but more effectively calm our mind. So the mindful breathing, when continued for a longer period of time, calms the body and the mind. And we are very grateful to Thai for having shown us how our mindful breathing helps calm the mind. And it's called following the breath. And we've already heard in the guided meditations, breathing in, I know I'm breathing in, breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I follow my breath. And please allow my finger to represent your breathing. And it will show you sometimes what our mind likes to do. Okay? Breathing in, I follow my breath, but the mind likes to travel. And with our breath, we bring the mind back to breathing. Again, breathing in, I follow my breath, but my mind, whoops, it goes to the past, likes to go there. I bring my mind back with my breathing to the present moment. Following my breath in and out. If the mind takes off and travels like an airplane, no problem. The airplane lands. I bring it, I'm a good pilot. I bring my airplane of breathing down. I bring it back. Okay. Following the breath. The longer we do this, the more we will be developing our concentration. And concentration will give us more understanding and insight. The next practice of resting is perhaps something we don't have many opportunities to do in daily life. Here you can do it. And we hope you will benefit from the time after your meals to lie down and rest. We offer total relaxation, but you can offer yourself a relaxation. Just lie down on the grass or wherever you feel is a space. Thai gives the example of resting. He said, imagine a pebble. It's dropped into the lake and it gently sinks to the bottom. That's resting on the bottom of the lake. So it's the sense of letting go, relaxing the muscles. When resting, we can be aware of our body. Is there tension in our body? Do I have tightness? We can be aware of our body positions that bring more tension, or what body positions offer relaxation. So aware of our body and the positions were important teachings, and the first teachings that the Buddha gave in his Sutra on the Four Establishments of Mindfulness, awareness of the body. I want to share with you a practice I did as a novice, just to practice awareness of my body. And it was very simple. You can do it also. I have a chair here. And you can choose a very simple position or a practice so you are aware of your body position. So, I'm a novice. I was sitting on a cushion, not a chair. It was many years ago, but on the cushion, I said to myself, I'm sitting down. And then when I stood up, I would always say, standing up. And that was my practice. I didn't say too much about sitting, but the standing up was important for me. Standing up. Because I thought, if I fall down or fail and I'm not doing too good, we make mistakes and whatever, get encouragements, I can stand up again. That was the positive effect for me, awareness of my body and positions. We know that right now there are some people, I think 10,500, who have been practicing well, taking care of their bodies. They're in good health. They've trained. They represent their countries. And these are athletes. And last night the Olympics opened on the River Seine in Paris. And I asked myself, what do we have in common with the athletic Olympiad athletes? And I realized that what we have in common is taking care of our body, aware of our body, nourishing our body with good food. We have exercise, yes? And sort of a Sangha spirit. May not be the same as the team spirit where you want to get the gold or whatever. No, not for us. What gives us joy is to live in the present moment, taking care of our body, taking care of our mind, concentrating and resting. So these are very important parts of our practice. The healing will be much easier if we're practicing the other three. All right? And the healing will involve not only the resting aspects, but it could involve happiness and joyful activities, joy and happiness. And children are masters at playing. And teenagers, we all have the inner child, don't we? Get in touch with your inner child who was once happy. I believe so. once your child was happy, you can continue to nourish happiness in your inner child. He or she is still there in you, playing games, whatever. So, this will be part of the healing. And other aspects that will nourish your healing will be the singing that we do, the music, waking up and saying the gatha. Waking up this morning, I smile. Give yourself the thought of smiling to life. I have 24 brand new hours to live. I'm going to live them with my mindfulness practice. I vow to live them mindfully, to look on all beings with eyes of compassion, with kindness. You can do the Metta Sutra also in the morning. As a way of nourishing happiness, peace, and healing for yourself and all beings. May I be happy, may you be happy and peaceful. You may add in good health. So with the mindful breathing and mindful walking. So the walking will be something that will also contribute to your healing. With each step, I arrive in the present moment. I walk peacefully on Mother Earth. I can be aware of footsteps as I'm placing each step on Mother Earth, placing each foot on Mother Earth. I can give my mind something to think about if it wants. How many steps can I make when I breathe in? 2, 3, depends on you. How many steps can I make when I breathe out? Depends on you. So you can say this to your mind to help your mind stay with the body, develop concentration, and the two, mindfulness and concentration, will give more insight, more understanding to you. And then you can say, I have arrived, I am home. So you've heard this already, I know that. It's just something that our friend, the rider on the horse, heard in Upper Hamlet, according to the story. Now, there's more. The stopping, calming, resting, and healing are called samatha. There's another aspect to the practice which is called looking deeply, vipassana. So we look deeply to understand, and this is the function of looking deeply, to understand and to discover the reasons why, the causes, the conditions. So let's give ourselves a moment now. We're going to pause, breathe in and out. We can look deeply at anything in our life right now to understand. Thank you. when I continued the revision of the story of the man on the horse, and I said the man was on the side of the road and his little girl was next to him. She was learning the Qigong exercises. But what she asked her daddy, she said, "Daddy, why is the man on the horse?" He didn't know. But he looked deeply for a moment and he thought, "Oh, yes, my darling, it's to protect Mother Earth." That he didn't want to drive in the automobile and have the carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide emissions create more toxins, more difficulty, because there's enough climate change, climate disaster, and global warming. So that he took a moment to look deeply how to answer that question. And she understood, oh yes, to protect Mother Earth. So we do the practice of looking deeply to discover the causes, the reasons, the roots, conditions. And very often it's in connection to discover why am I suffering? Why is this person suffering? But it can also be, how can I bring more happiness and joy into my life? Can I look deeply to discover causes for creating joy and happiness? And I think we can do both. Because the Buddha gave us 8 ways we can practice to discover the reasons why we may have suffering now, or why there may be suffering in our loved ones, in the world, in our children. Yes, there are reasons and there are causes. So let's have a look. I know them, but I have my paper. So causes, 8 practices. I'm going to put happiness first. Suffering down here. Because we have heard people say, oh, Plum Village, you just specialize in suffering. You specialize in just talking about suffering. But that's not the whole picture. The Buddha gave us some wonderful truths, but he put suffering first because it's very important we recognize suffering, acknowledge it, embrace it, find the causes of suffering so we don't continue to nourish the suffering and feed it so it gets bigger and bigger. We do this awareness of our thinking, etc. It's important that we acknowledge the suffering and don't stop there. Continue to practice to create happiness. Now, what are the 8 ways to create happiness? What are the 8 practices to create happiness? Okay. Causes of happiness, causes of suffering. Causes can mean the roots, the sources, ways I nourish either happiness or something. Well, one cause would be our view about things. What are our views? Could be our perceptions of people, of situations, our view. The views will influence our thinking. In our thoughts, do we have gratitude? Yes. It's a way to create more well-being and happiness. whatever the situation, if we were disappointed, we didn't agree with something, we can still find something to be grateful for. The opportunity. I had the opportunity, even if it didn't turn out as I thought or as I wanted. The opportunity was given. And it is said, whatever happens to us, we put it on the path of our practice. So our thinking can be in the direction of appreciation and gratitude, or anger, disappointment, criticism, judgment. Okay? We're aware of our thinking and the nature of the thinking. Speak. Speech. Speaking. Okay, the way we think will sometimes influence to a great deal our speaking, unless we have enough mindfulness energy to let us know, at this moment it's better I don't speak. This is the practice of beginning anew that we'll learn. And instead of speaking, I can do walking meditation. And the walking meditation is wonderful because we have little poems that we can recite or sing while we're walking. The mind can go in 1,000 directions, but on this path I walk in peace. With each step, a gentle breeze blows. With each step, a flower blooms. This is the lotus flowers that we have in all the Hamlets. You can bring home the pictures of the lotus flowers and enjoy looking at them, enjoy reflecting on them, their beauty, while walking. So, thinking, speaking. I think you may know the next. Acting, or our actions. Our diligence, or effort. And then how we use our time either to make money, mode of living, or to make a garden, a happy farm. Our livelihood, we say. So this can bring happiness or suffering. Mindfulness. And concentration. Okay, let me think. Insight. Well, we need 8, so I'm going to add this. And that's our understanding. Right view, right thinking, speaking, action, effort, diligence, mindfulness, concentration, and insight. So, these are called the Noble Eightfold Path of Right Practices. And they are causes, when we practice them, for happiness or suffering if we don't practice them. Okay? So I'm summarizing and trying to make it simple, maybe oversimplifying, but it's the Buddhist teachings. The Four Noble Truths, suffering, causes, the way to end the causes of suffering, and when we do these 8 practices correctly, then we have happiness. Happiness is possible. So, dear friends, I've shared with you some basic practices, mindfulness practices that Thai and the Buddha have taught. But we know that right now in the world there is a lot of suffering. There is war, as we learned. And when there is war, the way I understand this is people are practicing hatred. They're practicing anger instead of compassion and kindness. So we'd like to end this morning right now by offering a very beautiful song that was written by our sister, and the melody is very, very beautiful as well. I'm looking to see if they're here, but I see them coming. It's a very inspiring song, and it's a song that says, we vow to continue our path of practice. Like little butterflies, we're going to make a difference. I vow to stop. I vow to breathe. I vow to take care of myself. I vow to continue walking, to handle these very difficult moments that I recognize in the world when we feel absolutely helpless. Yeah. However, we have a path of practice. While they're preparing, I want to show you these little beads. You can find them at the Hamlets. It's a mala. So in the Christian tradition, you will recognize the rosary. In the Middle Eastern country, at Turkey, in Greece, they have something called worry beads. The string is long and the beads click and all that. Now, if you use worry beads, do they help you worry? Do they make you anxious and you worry more? No. The beads help your mind just stay with the fingers that are moving the beads. Now, Thai gave us a practice to use with the beads. I touch one bead, I breathe in. I touch another bead and move it, I breathe out. And this is your practice of mindful breathing. I practice breathing in on one bead. I practice breathing out on the other bead. If you want to go slow motion with your beads, one bead, breathe in and out. The next bead, breathe in and out, okay? Up to you to create a rhythm. You can say 3 beads breathing in, 4 beads breathing out. But these are a practice that Thai has created for us. Children can make their own breathing beads. They're very nice. They come in different sizes at New Hamlet, but other Hamlets perhaps have it. So, dear friends, we thank you for coming, for your listening, and for our musician friends who will offer the song now. And then at the end, there'll be the 3 sounds of the bell. And we thank all our translators, for everyone. This has been our collective experience of how our mindfulness practices can give us happiness. Yeah, create more happiness and peace. So, thank you very much.
There's a time when the sun starts to fall, when the fire and tears come along. An innocent child is risking all his life. Is there hope that comes with the dawn?
There's a time I wish to do something more, but I'm all alone, I cannot be strong. Though the sun has risen, it's hard to feel its warmth. On this path, please guide me along. It's time to stop, it's time to breathe, it's time to take care of myself. It's not a fault to take a walk in peace and harmony. How can I heal a wounded heart if I only see the dark? It's gonna change tomorrow because I vow to live this day with love.
There's the time I take a little pause. The world seems so different to before. My friend still smiling, my beloved still alive. With this hope, love can be reborn.
It's time to stop, it's time to breathe, it's time to take care of myself. It's not a fault to take a walk
in peace and harmony. How can I heal a wounded heart
if I only see the dark? It's gonna change tomorrow because I vow to live this day with love.
To talk, I vow to think, I vow to act only out of love. In the darkest phase of time, there's no hatred and no fear. Our compassion is the light that guides us through the night. It's gonna change tomorrow because I vow to live this day with love. I vow to talk, I vow to think, I vow to act only out of love. In the darkest phase of time, there's no hatred and no fear. Our compassion is the light that guides us through the night. It's gonna change tomorrow because I vow to live this day with love. It's gonna change tomorrow because I vow to live this day